1996, the gap was still huge, and now the gap is still growing. Maybe that is the reason why some members are resigning. Maybe that is the reason why a qualified lawyer, a qualified counsel by the name of Tutu Angulube will be able to, has considered defeat and congratulated the UPND and Hakainde Hichilema. Only God knows. But as a media, I think we'll wait for consolidated results or final results. We are from showing, Charity Katanga, who is the Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of operations, calling for calm among political parties. And she says even those that are those political party representatives who are at Mulungushi, the same message has been extended to them to say, take your time, let us give the commission enough time to announce the final results. And she says, 3/4 of the work has been done, and what is remaining is just to consolidate and give announcement to those remaining constituencies. Breaking news also is that Romeo Kangombe has retained the Sesheke seat, and he's coming back to Parliament. So meaning that Sesheke has gone to the UPND and they have cemented their base when you look at the presidential results. So the gap, yes, has continued to widen. And who thought that Hakainde Hichilema will get the number of votes that he has gotten in Kwacha, in Chimwemwe? And so we don't expect, maybe a miracle is expected, but like Tutwa said, if people are still waiting for a miracle, what has happened is a miracle. I know that there are still, PF faithfuls or members that are very loyal to the party who are still waiting that maybe the incumbent, His Excellency President Edgar Lungu, will be able to pull a surprise or a miracle and closing the gap or pull a surprise. Wow, you don't stop people to have visions. People should have visions. People should have ambitions. And one of the visions or one of the miracles that some members of the PF are still hoping for is that in the remaining constituencies, a miracle can happen and be able to overtake or close in the gap. But as things stand, it looks very bleak.
We know the Electoral Commission of Zambia did announce that it will be coming back in 30 minutes. 30 minutes was to be 1540. But then there's a bit of a delay there. I think it's quite a tedious process, and with results of magnitude such as this one, every detail, every result has to be gotten right. So we're going to be getting to the National Results Center in a very short while. Now, Kevin, as all of this is going on, celebrations have started, but some people are not celebrating, in a very professional manner. I say this because we are told that those celebrating the parliamentary, victories, especially those in the opposition united in the opposition United Party for National Development, have been looting Patriotic Front offices in town. The Zambia, police has issued a statement and has called for a stop on this.
I think this was expected, although not
what was expected?
That such a thing will happen.
These are a different, crop of cadres, or are they one and the same?
Is it not true that Honorable Kakoma changed from the red to the green, and now he's changing? He has resigned. Who knows? Maybe for me, I can't say he's going to PNUP. I can't even say he's going to NAREP. I see him going back to UPND. But one of my organization won't allow such. And will make sure that we beat some of these happenings. So that, for me, was expected. And even Zambians, we shouldn't pretend and say we didn't see it coming to say the UPND are going to start attacking the PF and maybe even rooting. I mean, in 2011, it happened. The MMD had to scamper and hide. And Mr. Piro was here, Cleophas, and he was talking about what we are going to see is, some members from the governing party now the PF scampering in all directions. This has happened before. In 2011, it happened. We saw how the MMD guys cried foul, coming to movie TV, saying my life is in danger. We covered them. So even in 2021, looking at how the results are coming and how some members, you know, when you look at the 3 SN that have resigned, or the 3 that, you know, have congratulated the UPND, these are members of the Central Committee, the highest decision-making body of the party. You talk of Kakoma, Edify Hamugare, Honorable Doctor. You talk of Council, Tutu Angulube. These are members of the Central Committee. Who knows who is going to be next? Only time will tell. But it's not going to be far from now. I'm not saying I'm encouraging what is happening. That is an archaic way of doing things. And the UPND should lead by example.
But how should those that are, you know, celebrating celebrate in these victories?
First of all, you don't have to celebrate at the presidential. Yes, you can celebrate. You can celebrate. You can celebrate. No one is stopping you. I know that members of parliament have been declared. For example, we saw it in Lusaka Central yesterday. Did we hear that you know, in Lusaka Central shops have been looted? Did we hear of such? And Lusaka Central, you're talking of Baulen. Not long ago, I went to Baulen to go and cover where the story where a member of the National Management Committee, in the name of William Banda, had his couch, you know, raised down. I went there, I covered the story. Why didn't you hear that in Baulen, Lusaka Central, because the member of parliament has been declared as a winner in Council Mulambo Aimbe, and shops are being looted, those that belong to the ruling party? We didn't hear of such. So you can celebrate, but you don't have to resort into hacking each other, into beating each other, or stealing from each other. And this, maybe I can make a call to Gilbert Risoniso, who is chairperson in charge of the youths at the national level. Where is your leadership? Trevor, you know, where is your leadership? Cindy Kauka, where is your leadership? Provide leadership. Tell your cadres, tell your supporters that they can celebrate in a good mood, but not stealing people's properties. Also, Anderson Banda, where are you? This is the time that you need to show us your leadership. Phineas Pumulo, the spokesperson, deputy spokesperson in charge of the youths. We need your leadership as at now. Obvious Mwaliteta, these things are happening in Lusaka. You are the provincial chair. Also, Omiya Hankanga in charge of mobilization. You know, he has featured on a number of platforms. How I wish we can give him a call now, maybe somewhere, so that we can hear his stance on what is happening. It is very unfortunate, and it shouldn't continue. Yes, you can celebrate, but not to an extent where you start injuring people, you start beating up people. We don't have to live in fear. We only have one Zambia. These are sisters and brothers. There is no need ya kumwambia kupushana manyumba muntu akukepa nyumba pali pake. There is no need. Some of these people that are being attacked are family people. Mfuna utubende kuti na wana. We don't want to see broken homes where mzimai na wana wanasala atata tuanata wanenda kabisa maukatete because he was being harassed, or he was being looked after, or they were after his life. We don't want to see such things.
Such things are not, you know, allowed in this country, especially that, you know, you're looking at a group of people that are taking over leadership that are seemingly younger in nature, more fresh, and you would expect them to bring better ideas and change the game, so to say. Now, Kelvin, as this conversation has been, you know, taking place, as these results were being announced, United Party for National Development leader Haga in the Hijlema did go to visit the 4th Republican President, Rupia Bwezani Banda. A very huge statement, especially amidst, you know, this conversation that has rocked the nation, the elections.
Yes, indeed. The only surviving former head of state, the man that was in UNIP, one of the vibrant youths back then, with the likes of VJ and the team, former member of parliament in Munali, former vice president of the republic, former president of the republic, former leader of the party that, brought in multipartism, movement for multi-party democracy, MMD. Yes, we need to make use of such people. He's a statesman. Clearly, it is a clear demonstration that this country needs healing, and part of the healing can only come from a former head of state who knows how it feels to lose power. In 2011, he conceded defeat, and we saw that this country was peaceful. It cannot be compared to the time that we had the by-elections in 2015 and 2016. So we need such visits, and they are sending a clear picture that at the end of the day, we are one Zambia, one nation. No wonder in the morning I said, it is touching me, and it is annoying me, seeing that as young people who've diverted from the speech, we have not followed the directive or the counsel that was given by the former head of state in the name of Rupia Bwezanibanda, who said those that are going to win should make sure that they embrace those that are going to lose. Those that are going to lose should concede defeat. Because in an election, there is always a winner and a loser. So such a visit, SN, cannot be overemphasized. It is a good, visit. People from Eastern, they will tell you, say, Akulu ni mdambo, mozimira moto. And as I sum it up, I can only say, Rupia Bwezanibanda ni mdambo, mozimira moto.
All right, so the election results, just a reminder to those that are following this conversation, UPND's Hakainde Hichilema stands at 1.8,071,228. PF's Edgar Lungu stands at 1,101,422. These are the results as tallied by us, Movie Television, with, of course, the information that's being given by the Electoral Commission of Zambia. The official vote tally is going to be announced at the end of, the release of these consolidated results by the Electoral Commission of Zambia. So do keep in mind the figures as they stand at the moment. Kelvin, like I did say, the difference now is in excess of 700,000 votes. Now, these celebrations that we have been talking about, and the potential, government forming of the next government by the United Party for National Development has to mean something for the United Party for National Development, but more so for the country Zambia. The expectations are huge that the UPND, would, if they are to form the next government, perform differently. They would behave in a much more different manner as opposed to the most recent behavior by some members of the Patriotic Front. Now, with so much hope vested in the United Party for National Development, this first 5 years is extremely important if they are to make the cut.
Counting down will start after the final results, as well as the swearing in. Then we'll begin to count down as to, maybe we'll start with the first 90 days of the party that is going to form a government, the first 90 days of office. What is it that they're going to do? And then just cite an example of some of the campaign messages that Hakainde Hichilema gave the Zambian people, that being sworn in, the issue of Mulekutika, after being sworn in, within hours, the dollar or the kwacha will gain value against the major convertibles. And we heard members from the ruling party saying, ni abracadabra, ni magiki. Those are some of the issues that we are looking at too. The issue of markets and bus stations. And indeed, it is very unfortunate that we've seen pictures emerging from Kulima Tower, where some cadres from the ruling party have been chased, the office of the PF being vandalized. Very unfortunate indeed. You are aware that at one point, when the UPND threatened the PF that we're going to move in, and make sure that we bring sanity in bus stations and markets, and allow councils to be collecting, revenues. By then, we had Mao Sampa, who is now the Member of Parliament for Matero, as the Mayor of the city of Lusaka, did report that after the council moved in, revenue at the council improved. So we are here as Zambians waiting to see how sanity will be restored in markets and bus stations. And also the cries that marketeers have had for a long time, that they are being, forced to pay huge sums of money by cadres who up to now have been operating in bus stations and markets. Zambians wants to see how the party that is going to form government, how they are going to depoliticize the running of markets and bus stations, how they are going to remove those cadres. You and I am sure we have witnessed before how bus drivers and conductors have been harassed by the so-called Mimbulu Zapa station. And give an example, you go to Unza bus station. I know that most of those are my friends and my colleagues, because most of the times I bought buses from Unza station. We want to see how they are going to handle that one. Also, the issue of empowerment, the issue of fertilizer. Very soon, the farming season, the 2021-2022 farming season will start. Kudos to the PF that in some areas we are told that fertilizer was ready. You are aware that Hakainde Hichilema talked about reducing the bag of fertilizer, the price from over 600 to 200. Is it feasible? Those are some of the issues that Zambian people will be looking to. I saw Savoy Mboela yesterday, and part of this morning posted on a Facebook page that Bali promised the Zambian people that he's going to provide free education from grade 1 to the university. And jokingly she said, I know of a friend who has used the money for school fees. Is that going to be feasible? Is that going to be attained? If the UPND forms government, those are some of the promises that Zambian people are looking to. The issue of giving back power to the police. You are aware that the opposition cried that the police are failing to do their mandate because power was removed from them, or power has been removed from them, and more power has been vested in the hands of cadres. Is it going to be business as usual? Are we going to see cadres, shouting, "Wakateka aleranda takapito tabakapite, wakateko aleranda tabakapite"? And we saw what happened. That person was almost transferred. The likes of Shapa Wakunguma, you go to social media, his pictures are all over social media. Okay, his pictures are all over social media, because we know after him and the team bringing sanity in Sesheke, he was retired. Whether in national interest or public interest, we are the nation, we are the public, in whose interests were they retired. Right. So these are some of, but the ladder is too huge, and the demands and what Zambians are going to look out for the party that is going to form government is too huge. You are aware the issues of doctors, Dr. Brandsam up to now, the demands of employing more health personnel in the Ministry of Health, the issue of over 5,000, over 50,000 trained teachers up to now who haven't been employed and deployed. It is something also to talk about. That video which is making rounds on social media, that lekanti votereko banzeru naife tipezeko vikwati. It is Hakainde Hichilema who was telling people, say, abalumendo balefiro no kupa. If he forms government, are we going to see young people marrying now? The likes of Obvious Kapunda maybe is one of those that Hakainde Hichilema was referring to, that abalumendo balefiro kupa. Maybe
we have to cross
maybe
to one of our staff that is on standby, and this is no other than Afias Kaptula. Afias, you're watching this program, and we want to find out where you are and what the update is. Good afternoon. Hello, Afias. Hello, Afias. Good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon, Afias. Hello, Afias. Good afternoon. All right. We seem to be having a little challenge getting to Mr. Kaputula there, but immediately we do manage to get to him. We're going to be crossing over to him. But Kelvin, with this conversation, that we've been having concerning the expectations that have been put on, the UPND as a party, now that they've won so many constituencies, in their constituencies, they are expected to deliver beyond, what they promised, or to deliver as they promised. Now that they have won so many seats, as has been declared by several returning officers in this country, you would want to assume, that the expectation on the people is now bigger than ever before.
Indeed. If you look at the campaign promises or messages that members of parliament were packaging during their campaigns in their various constituencies, first thing, very important, is that these people were saying, I am the one who understands the challenges that people of my constituency have been facing. I'll give an example of Munali. I know that Mike Mposha was declared as a winner, but the independent is petitioning those results, and he wants a recount. As of this morning, he demanded for a recount. He talked about issues of water and the challenges that people of Munali have been facing for all these years, and he said, I've got solutions. One of the members of parliament also managed to scoop the Lusaka Central in Council Mulambwaimbe. He said, I'm the only one who has got a clear plan and a clear manifesto on how I'm going to tackle these issues and problems that people of Baoleni, people of Luangwa, people of, Woodlands have been facing, as well as Kablonga. You go to Kabwata, you hear Honorable Mkandawire, the way he has been campaigning, that have got, solutions to the challenges that people of Kabwata, people of Mahopo have been facing. So indeed, looking at the pledges and the promises, as well as on how they intend to execute their mandate, they said they are going to be a voice to the voiceless, the people in their respective constituencies. I think the demands are high. I don't know if Zambian people in various constituencies will be able to give them chance and see how far they will go in managing. But so far, it looks so good for the UPND. Looking at the number of seats, constituencies they have managed to grab. You are aware that in Eastern Province, they have got their presence there, which was not the case.
We're being told that the winner in the Kanyama constituency election has been announced, and John Chikavi and Afias Kaptula rather is now joining us via Zoom, and he's with the winner in this particular constituency. Afias, are you there now? Hello, Afias, good afternoon. Hello, Afias, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
All right, please go ahead.
Yes, the results have just been announced. I've just reached here, the results have been announced.
Okay.
And I'm going to be able to give you the details of the exact details of the numbers, the winner. But just for now, I do have I'm starting with the winner, who is Mort Chikuru.
All right, please go ahead.
Who is Mort Chikuru? Yeah, he's going to join us right now. Congratulations for the win, and you broke up the interview. And I was thinking, how do you just make up the win?
All right, network challenges, but Afias is still there. Please go ahead.
Was great join us in this for me to start celebrating, say this is success. For what to celebrate. When I finish my day, because I'll be able to look back and say, oh, that is what you have achieved. And there, but now, it's time for reflection. Let's see where I'm coming from. But I told you about and so how prepared are you to deliver that Kanyama has some challenges? There's drainage network, there's also floods, that leads to floods, and also sometimes the constituency also go up to disease outbreaks such as cholera. Just how prepared are you to your goals? I subscribe to the party. That party is as it is on those that was so much. Now, we give the agents of the party here to the agents of the party. I'll not do anything. I'm looking at the rest of the party. It's nothing. It's a way to deal that and like you have heard some time back where our president asking us for the which we do OTT. After we thereafter, it's not time no time if I put it out in water, then from there, we start no excuses. What people say that no, after these people who were there, they have done this, no. Because if we realize that, we should not have jump on the spot. So our role is to ensure that those things that we have seen that are programs, we wait to us. No excuses. We know the economy is everything is just aside. It's our role to sit down and work on those issues. Okay, thank you very much, sir. Yeah.
All right, obviously we could barely get what the candidate there, or the winner, rather the UPND candidate that has won the Kanyama, constituency seat, was saying. Roughly, what was the message there? Hello, Afias. We seem to be having challenges getting to Afias, but Kelvin, Kanyama constituency has now been declared.
Indeed, the UPND have continued to gain ground, and the grabbing has continued. The unseating has continued. I said it yesterday that Lusaka Urban has 7 constituencies, namely Munali, Mandevu, Matero, Kanyama, Chawama, Lusaka Central, and Kabwata. In Kabwata, the UPND have grabbed it. Lusaka Central, you've got Councillor Aimbe. In Munali, you've got Mike Mposha. Now we are talking about, Kanyama, UPND. Out of 7, they have managed to grab 4. The PF have managed to retain 3. If we are to add, Chongo was in the hands of the PF. Now you've got Sylvia Masewa. They have grabbed it as well. Chilanga, we had, mama ni mama. Mulimo mkashopu mo. Nema bwani mtengeko. It has been grabbed. Sipo Ilazo, Honorable, is now the Member of Parliament for Chilanga. On the other hand, their seats, you talk of Rufunsa, you talk of Kafue, as well as Chirundu, they have managed to maintain them. So kudos to Monty Chinkuli, Member of Parliament now, officially, for Kanyama. I talked about Kanyama being one, or being the only constituency with a huge number of registered voters. And it was very, all eyes were on Kanyama. You are aware, SN, at one point the Electoral Commission of Zambia suspended Monty Chinkuli and the UPND from campaigning because of the incident that happened where 2 lives were lost. May the souls of Danny and Davy continue to rest in peace. Now that Monty has been declared as a winner, we just wait for the presidential vote. But don't be shocked when you hear the results or the figures in Kanyama, because the numbers there are very huge. But kudos to the UPND, out of 7, grabbing 3. Now it is official, because this was the only constituency that was remaining when you talk of Kanyama in Lusaka Urban. Now they have got 4. The PF have got 3.
I've got so many questions with regard to this result. The Patriotic Front have complained of having, their agents chased out of polling stations in 3 parts of this country: Southern Province, Northern and Northwestern and Western Province. Has there been any report of a similar activity here in Lusaka? I ask this question because even the numbers here in Lusaka are not impressive at all when you look at the parliamentary seats.
Listen, they are not out of 7. All the 7, the 2016 elections. We have to continue making reference to the 2016 elections. The 2016 elections, the UPND managed to win in the rural. If you were going to the south, they started from Chiranga, going up to Chirundu. The Kanyama seat was tightly contested. I remember the UPND candidate lost with a very small margin to the former Kanyama Member of Parliament and also former Gender Minister in the name of Elizabeth Abiri. But now that they have managed to scoop the urban constituencies, if you ask me, during campaigns, yes, we heard of some pockets of violence in Mandevu, in Matero and Kanyama. But on the voting day, I think the only report we had was that when people reached Kanyama, some members of staff from the Electoral Commission of Zambia had already started opening, those, ballot papers. And that is the only incident. And also the delay. Yesterday, Afias Kaputula, our staff are there, reported of 1 laptop being used to compile the results. But now the long waiting is over. The delay cannot be talked about anymore because the winner has been declared. You are aware yesterday we are seeing pictures of residents or voters in Kanyama camping at Kanyama totaling center, wanting to see the final results. And so when you talk of the incidents on the voting day, I think in Lusaka, also in Munali, we were told yesterday that is when some people were beaten because the anxieties or the tempers were very high. And even when they thought they are going to overpower the police, the men and women in uniform, the military, moved in and brought calmness in Munali. So not much of violent activities on the voting day that can be compared to what SG Honorable Mwira was able to bring out in southern, western, and northwestern. But it's very unfortunate that one of the candidates in southern has considered defeat and has resigned from the party. Maybe the claims that Mavuto Piri last night was talking about not having evidence, maybe that candidate would have helped the Electoral Commission of Zambia and the Zambian people, if at all such a thing which Honorable Mwira has continued to lament over did occur in Southern Province.
Calvin, now that you've made reference to 2016, here is a very interesting fact. The Patriotic Front candidate Edgar Lungu in 2016 polled, after the final vote, 1.860,000 votes, 877, and the UPND's Haga in Hichilema polled 1,760,000 thousand votes, 347. These were the statistics then. When you look at the statistics as things stand at this moment, UPND's Hakainde Hichilema has surpassed the total number of votes that Patriotic Front's Edgar Lungu polled in the entire election. This election is not yet over. He's polled 1,871,000 votes, 228. There's a difference, Kelvin, even before the full election results are announced. This is an interesting fact that has to be analyzed equally.
I didn't want to go there.
Okay, send it.
No, send up. I didn't want to go there because in responding to your question, SN, President Edgar Lungu, His Excellency, also a candidate on the PF, looking at the numbers of registered voters, which still stands at 7 million. I remember in one of his final campaign messages, he said, in 2016, I won by over 100,000 votes. But this time around in 2021, I'm going to beat him with 500,000 votes. Where we are, Hakainde Hichilema has surpassed the number of votes which the incumbent wanted to beat him, or what the difference that he was projecting of 500,000 votes. Clearly, the UPND did their homework. Maybe it is because of the leakage they were given. You are aware, they were told that you cannot win elections in Zambia if you only have your presence in 3 provinces. Now, clearly, Lusaka is in their bag because out of the 7 urban constituencies, plus, let us add, 7, Chongwe 8, Rufunsa 9, Feira 10, Chirundu 11, Kafue 12, Chiranga 13. Out of 13, as we speak, they have got about 9. Okay? So meaning that if you are to do to calculate or add the total number of votes in these 13 constituencies, Hakainde Hichilema is a runaway winner with the total number of votes casted. So clearly, maybe the PF were very much comfortable looking at the people that they managed to adopt. In Chongwe, they went for the incumbent. In Rufunsa, we talked about the confusion that was there. At first, it was Bartholomew Kalambalala was adopted. Then the adoption certificate was revoked from him. In Matero, they said we have to bring back Mao Sampa, and indeed he has delivered. In Mandevu, they went for the former deputy mayor in Shakafusu, and he has managed to deliver.
Of course, others are going to tell you that because there was a larger voter register now, so those statistics are probably, cannot even be compared at the moment. We're going to be getting to the deeper statistics, but at the moment we cross over for a short while before we go to the National Results Center. We go to Monze, where our staffer John Shigabi is with a person with disability that is joining us in conversation. We're going to find out how participating in this election has been for persons with disability. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you, Mr. President?
Very fine, thank you. How are you doing today?
No, so far so good.
Forgive my manners, I forgot to get your name.
Oh, thank you. My name is Jonas Yamano, a civil rights activist and disability.
Mr. Salmano Ondimwe.
Ndife boss.
All right. How has it been participating in these elections for persons with disability?
Yeah, thank you very much. First of all, the country at large and the Mons in particular must know that 2021 elections were very unique in the sense that inclusiveness has been recognized, where persons with disabilities turned up in numbers to go and cast their votes despite few challenges, especially to our friends who are visually impaired. And I can confirm that this is the only elections whereby many Zambians, if not all, felt secured, especially when we saw the presence of the Zambia police with a combined of the defense security such as Zambia National Service and the other security wings.
All right, Mr. Salwano, we may have to end this conversation here because the results have been announced, but we'll continue after this set of results is announced.
Thank you very much.
All right, let's cross to the National Results Center just now. We're being told the crossover time is yet to be confirmed there. I did get confirmation though that there was a briefing and that it had commenced. But we'll do continue. Mr. Salvano, are you still on the line? All right. For Salam, they're not yet ready. But please, let's go ahead with the conversation. You were explaining how it was difficult for persons living with disability, especially the blind, to participate in this election.
Yes, the blind had a challenge, especially on the braille jacket. The reasons are simple in the sense that there were no orientations on how to use the braille jacket. And the other challenge was that I think the Electoral Commission of Zambia did not come up with the statistics of how many visually impaired persons are able to read braille. And above all, it is a clear indication that at the end of it, when you assess the whole situation, you're going to find that visually impaired persons have no right to cast the vote of their choice, much as those who are few would have read the braille in relation to the person of their choice. At the end, when it comes to put an X where voting is concerned, they depended on somebody to aid them without them being sure if the person they voted for was their choice. Otherwise, when it comes also to physically disabled people, I think there was no much challenge. The only challenge was for those that are using wheelchairs and those that may be on crutches when it comes to climbing or certain rooms in relation to get access to the voting room, because many rooms that were used as the voting or casting a vote, they are not infrastructure user friendly. In short, there were no ramps, and so going forward, I think these are the things that the Electoral Commission of Zambia must look at. And such kind of calling has been there for a long time, that the Electoral Commission of Zambia must.
All right. Now, what advancements would you want to see, especially as these elections are almost annual in this country?
Create a Department of Disability Affairs.
All right.
So that every type of disability is looked into.
All right.
Okay.
Yes. All right. Are you able to get me, Mr. Selma?
I'm getting you now, Mr. Kojera.
All right. Now, what is your expectation of this result? We know that, like everybody else, you're anxiously waiting for results. But what is your expectation of the government that comes to take over and rule for the next 5 years? What do you want to see, speaking on behalf of persons with disability?
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm sure you may be aware that there have been a large turnout in the history of Zambia, and this could have been eroded due to the high levels of poverty, which has taught people how to vote, unemployment, corruption, poor health services, and also in the areas of agriculture, and above all, when it comes to persons with disabilities, I think we have seen as Zambia, seeing persons with disabilities as clients of social welfare, when in reality, some of persons with disabilities, if empowered, they are able to stand on their own. And so our expectations are that persons with disabilities will be empowered in different areas, such as education. If you look at the Disability Act number 6 of 2012, it lacked implementation, and yet there is a provision of free education for persons with disabilities. So we expect more disabled to have access to education. We expect job creation for persons with disabilities with qualifications and requirement, and we expect persons with disabilities to be empowered in various skills. And we expect, above all, if you look at the statistics, persons with disabilities, we are 2,500,000 countrywide, and I'm not doubting that the statistics may be more of what I've mentioned. And therefore, even creating a ministry of persons with disabilities is possible to ensure that that ministry coordinate with all the departments and the ministries and the other private sector, and see how the welfare of persons with disabilities can be catered for. And above all, we are looking forward to an inclusive government where decisions are concerned. If you look at persons with disabilities, they have not been seen to be persons who are able to stand on their own, because they have always been planned for without much consultation on how they should. And this has been this has resulted in persons with disabilities to be remaining behind all the time. And so if persons with disabilities are remembered in influential positions, so that when it comes to planning, they are there to think on their own and submit what they feel is best for them, then I can assure you to say even the social cash transfer issue will be only for those that are truly disabled with multiple disabilities. And above all, those persons with disabilities that have multiple disabilities, not that in the state they are in, they cannot do things on their own. And so we look forward that through their guardians, through their relatives, they can also be empowered so that they stand on their own. And at the end of it, the issues of social cash transfer will truly go to those who will be known as the vulnerable people who are unable to do anything due to the nature of their disabilities. And when it comes to issues to do with governance, we expect to see the good governance prevailing in all the departments, in all the ministries, in all the sectors, both including private sector. And we look forward whereby all the private sectors, NGOs and government departments have good policies that enables them to employ persons with disabilities of a certain percentage to be met. And then from there, we are going to see that persons with disabilities will not be known to be beggars in the street, and they will not be known to be second in poverty, and they will not be known to be the majority people who are known to be social welfare clients.
All right. Mr. Sialmano, would like to appreciate you for having shared your time with us this afternoon. Let's continue engaging in conversation.
Okay, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure appearing on Movie TV.
All right, Kelvin, that is Mr. Sialmano from, Southern Province, representing persons with disability. Now, joining us in conversation is Afias Kaputula, who's about to give us, a wrap-up of the Kanyama result. Afias, are you there? Hello, Afias, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Afias. Hello, Afias, good
afternoon.
All right, kindly go ahead and give us your...
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. We're able to get you, but we can't see you. Are you able to turn on your video?
Oh, okay. So here at Chinyika Results Center in Kanyama, where the MP has just been declared as a winner. It is done and dusted, and as you are aware, Kanyama is one of the biggest constituencies. It's one of the biggest constituencies in Lusaka. Yeah. The United Party for National Development member there has scooped about 57,000 votes. That is Elizabeth Bini getting 80,000 votes. So I've also been told that here the United Party for National Development is expected to scoop all the councillors in Kanyama constituency, which is 6 councillors, and their results are yet to be announced. And we also have organization results. The United Party for National Development seem to be way ahead in terms of the numbers. So that is the situation right here. And the Member of Parliament, Mr. Mos Chinguli, one of his priorities is talking about making sure that violence that prevails in the constituency is brought under control. He's also talking about playing development that is across the political divide. He's saying that he's also going to ensure that political cadres, that the youth not turn into political cadres, because the party is going to ensure that the youth are given other forms, other means of living.
All right, FS, but what is the mood at that particular, results center?
Okay. Okay, thank you very much.
I've said, what is the mood at the results center?
Oh, it's a network breakdown. I couldn't get you on first instance there. The mood here is a celebration of the United Party for National Development. It is their party, as I did mention earlier, that they are expected the councillors that they are expected to scoop the seats, all the 6 seats in the constituency. As you can see, people are sitting behind me right there. So the mood is a celebratory mood for the United Party for National Development. They have carried the day in Kanyama, and it's a suit. What they are calling it is a suit, and they hope that their president also scoops the seat in this constituency.
All right. Well, FS, we keep waiting for further updates from you. Thank you very much for having joined us in conversation.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
No, it's a pleasure.
Kevin, you did announce, to say of the many parliamentary seats that exist in this country, Lusaka has 7 constituencies, and of the 7 constituencies, the United Party for National Development, UPND, has now scooped 4. A very significant, number with regards to decision-making. Lusaka is considered, to be one of the decisive provinces.
Indeed, Yasin, and this wasn't expected. I remember people were, some different pages and prominent people were asking questions in the run-up to elections, asking Lusaka residents as how many constituencies do you think the UPND will be able to grab from the PF in the Lusaka urban? And if you go back and check the response that people were giving to that question was others could say maybe 1, only Lusaka Central. Others were saying 0. but seeing them getting 4 out of 7, it is a plus. Decision making wise, I think for the first time they are going to have a bigger say when it comes to issues of commanding these constituencies, particularly at the city council level. Already we are told, been told by our members, our staff are there, Afias Kaptula, saying they are seeing a possibility of the UPND grabbing all the 6 wards. As we are speaking right now, the mayor has been declared in Victor Nyasulu from the UPND. So in 2016, you had Mao Sampa. First of all, you had Delete, then Mao Sampa took over. The deputy came from the PF in the name of Shakafuswa. And now you are going to have a new composition of the council. Congratulations to Patrick Salubusa in Matero. I think for now, he's one of the PF councillors who has managed to retain the seat. But if you look at Munali, in where we are now, it is the UPND. In Chainda Ward, our young man Patrick in Samampundu, who was also declared as winner, is going to the chambers to work with Victor Nyasulu. In Chakunkula Ward, maybe only in Kalikiriki, that is where we have an independent, not the PF, but an independent guy who was left out of the adoptions, is going to the councils, to the chambers, to represent, Kalikiriki Ward. But it's going to be a whole new, composition when it comes to members of parliament at the Lusaka Urban. Kudos to them for grabbing those 4 important seats in the city of Lusaka.
You're watching the elections, updates on Movie Television. We're looking at, results as has been announced. We take this short commercial break. On the other side, hopefully, we'll be getting back to the results center, the National Results Center. We now take this short break.
People's Choice on Movie TV. Brought to you with the association of Airtel. Airtel, the smartphone network.